welcome to the ZENPod once again. I have in the studios with me today a sought after musician, scholar, composer, an entrepreneur, arts promoter, and a teacher, an innovative thinker with over 30 years of experience in teaching music globally to over 1,000 students. He is a very well known artist of the present generation and has over 20 years of successful experience in management, concept design, and marketing. Please welcome a child prodigy and a performer, Shashikiran Narasimhan. Hailing from a family of accomplished musicians, his father, Chitravina Shri Narasimhan sir, a musician with a vision and a mission, and his brother Chitravina Ravikiran. Shashi stormed the music world at the age of 2. With his first vocal concert at the age of 9, he has had over 5,000 concerts to his credit, and he performs lecture demonstrations, jugalbandi, and fusion concerts globally. He is also adept in playing the mridangam, a percussion instrument. Shashi has done significant work in promoting Hindu tradition and musical forms by performing Katha Kacheris and Sankirtana Kacheris both in India and the United States. He has conceptualized and curated music festivals such as the Bharat Sangeet Utsav, Bhakti Sangeet Utsav, and Pallavi Darbar, among others. As a composer, Shashi composed period music to recreate the melodic modes of the 2nd century for Silapathikaram, an age-old Tamil epic for a dance ballet. He has composed Varnams, Tillanas, and has tuned over 100 compositions of modern composers. He has also tuned several Sai Kirtanas, Tirupugars, and 14th and 15th century works of Sri Purandaradasa and Annamayya. Shashi has been featured in over 25 music albums as a solo and also as carnaticabrothers. He is a trendsetter and has been the producer, author, and the spirit behind the world's first interactive and encyclopedia CD-ROM on Carnatic music titled Nadanubhava, The Horizons of Carnatic Music. Shashi is the designer of one of the first websites on Carnatic music called clickcarnatica.com, carnatica.com, and mymusicalbum.com. He has also developed the first Carnatic app, Music Guru, and Carnatic World game, which are available on the Android platform. Shashi is the founder of Karnataka Archival Center for Music both in India and the United States. He is the first musician to curate and perform Carnatic Symphony in the Cleveland Tyagaraja Festival. He has carried out significant work in the field of music therapy by conducting workshops for sinusitis cure through music. He introduced voice therapy to heal stammering and stuttering. Using mathematics and science in music, Shashi is the first to create infinite rhythmic meters and structures based on date, month, and the year. Recipient of several prestigious awards like the Sangeeta Kala Sagaram, Kalaimamani, Yuva Kala Bharati, Asthana Vidwan, and many more. Shashi has an Honorary Doctorate from the King's University for being an outstanding musician and has been awarded a gold medal for Masters in Music from the University of Madras. He is the first person to be granted the UGC scholarship. Shashi, thank you very much for agreeing to come and welcome to ZENPod.
Pleasure meeting you, Venki. Pleasure meeting everybody through your medium, all those who are going to be listening to this.
Thank you so much. Shashi, jump in straight away. What is your definition of spirituality?
So the thought of understanding that there's an energy above you and we all are part of that energy's creation in some way. And the realization, the moment that you realize that you are just in the moment and there's something else controlling every moment. Just a start is what is spirituality for me, and the understanding and following this path, just realizing every moment of your life that as long as that energy wants you to exist, you will exist. And that energy manifests itself in different forms within you and outside you, creating what it creates and allows you the space to be what you are and express in certain ways, whatever you can. So it has given you certain capabilities. And if you strongly believe that you are a creation, then you can go closer to, doing what that energy wants you to do.
Awesome. So that's a very, very nice definition. And you have, so you have been in music for a long time, and time immemorial, if I may call it. You are a child prodigy. Do you believe there is a connection between music and spirituality, Shashi?
Absolutely. I believe in everything that you do, there's connection. Every single finger, little finger, I can move every single note, particularly being a musician, particularly as a singer, you can realize it a lot more because what you think you learned and what you think you can do well yesterday, you may not be able to do today. So every single second, even the same raga that I sing, yesterday I would have sung it in a different way. Today it will come out in a completely different way.
Oh, really?
So even if your mind knows this is what it is, the execution of that could be sometimes better, sometimes not the same. So every single moment of your existence as a musician itself will make you realize that every note that you produce never belong to you, never will be yours.
Wow.
And never will you achieve any kind of mastery over it. You can be at the most a sincere, committed person trying to, get better.
Wow, that's very, you put it very simply. I'm trying to get my arms around it. So is there a zone that you get into, Shashi, before you either you sing a raga or you sing? Is there some kind of a zone that you get into?
Ideally speaking, we want to get there all the time. We want to get there all the time. Whether I take something, music is for me my everything, my existence, my breath,
sure,
my
sure,
every cell of my body. Probably, if you dissect it, all that I could say is, I'll live, sleep, dream music. So the one thing that I would always say is, it is so closely connected that if you ask me what is God, I would say music. Okay. If you ask me what is music, I would say it's God. So those are inseparable. So the zone is right there. We all know there is an absolute, but can we see it as every single day? We don't know what that absolute is and what form that absolute is. We try to give it a definition, a form and everything because that's the way we are. Music is similar. We try to define this is the way it should be, this is the way it is. We don't know. We're all chasing something. It's a journey. So the first realization that there is something, that energy is making you do this, who started it, where did it come from, how is it supposed to be, I don't know. But there is a quest. There is always a quest to understand that absolute. That is spirituality. The quest towards understanding what is music, what is spirituality, what is God. It's all interlinked. The point is whether, I always say, who are we to actually name the absolute as something? Okay. Is it Rama? Is it Jesus? Is it Allah? Is it something else? I mean, these names we are given, like how we give names to our children. Right. We want a form, we want a definition. Right. But is it this? Even if you say and you believe in a faith, that there is an energy and you can see the energy, you can see its sun. It comes and does its job. It doesn't ask us anything. A rose is a rose, whether you use it for your puja room or whether you put it or use it as a decorative thing, or you just watch it beautifully blossomed in a plant. We don't use all of those, but it still is the same beauty. So many things like that, so many mystic things. And I just, for every time that I would think, whenever I watched several people who have had stroke or something, that's when I realized, oh my God, just for a finger to move, there's so much happening. And we don't realize it when things are happening.
Yes, true.
Only when something strikes us, we realize, oh, that's it. And the best of the best are not there one day. Yeah. And that's when we realize, oh, so you're not permanent. So there's so many things like this. We know all of this, but the Maya, the myth that you are something keeps you chasing for more. So I don't set goals. Oh, okay. I don't have any targets.
Very interesting.
I don't have any definition to success.
Okay.
My goal is a fulfilling day. Just the second, if I had a good day, if the second I'm able to do things in a right way, then, that's a special moment. So we don't have to wait for another moment. And I also don't believe in the endorsements of getting an award. Again, it's given by a mortal to a mortal. I'm not disregarding it. All that I'm trying to say is quest for that should not be there. Craving for something.
Say somebody who's got numerous awards.
No, so it's incidental. So if you're going to live a time, somebody has to get something. So, it'll come. So chasing it, even if it is a Nobel Prize, are you not going to feel hungry the next day?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're going to be the same.
You're right.
And people will remember that as a news item for, say, a week.
Yeah.
Max.
True. Very true.
And that too, again, your close circles. Beyond that, people don't even have the time to process that.
Correct. Very true.
So that's all it is. So if we realize, the moment we realize this, then, we are not looking at this as an incentive to exist and do what we do. The happiness and the joy of being in it is the primary thing. And this is not something I'm saying it for a dialogue. This is not something I'm saying because I want to make a point for a podcast. But this is my firm belief of existence as a human being.
Brilliant. You are from a family of very, very accomplished musicians, Vidwans and all of that. Respect to all of them. Has that made it a little easier for you than for a normal person like me? If the environment,
No.
I'd be keen to know more. Yeah, really.
It'll make it tougher.
Oh, really?
Tell you, because one good thing about being in a family is you're exposed to it. But if I always tell this to everyone. So if that was the case, then M.S. Subbulakshmi's children should be greater than her.
True. Doesn't
right?
Matter.
So, and similar examples you can go on.
Yeah.
So I would always say, if within a family there are more musicians still coming out, everybody is putting an individual hard work into it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sometimes we discount or we take it for granted that it should be there in the family, so it should be easy. Every ounce of whatever you work for yourself is what will be there for you. Karma Yoga is the only theory that will take you along. No gifts in life will be permanent.
Well said.
Might last a little bit. You might ride on some luck for a little while, but I don't think in a larger context of what it is. And if you want to get into becoming something meaningful, I don't think that's very minuscule. So probably you have 1% advantage because you are exposed to something already. But I would say my father experimented with even a 7-maid's kid.
Oh, very nice.
And that kid could also do what we could do.
Wow. So
given an atmosphere, I think anybody who can hear and talk, if they're put into that right atmosphere early, not just music, if a child is put into mathematics, right from, we assume that we should start only at 5. That itself is a wrong belief. My father believed the child should start like Abhimanyu, even when mother's womb.
Wow.
So that's what it is. So as long as you have such innovative teachers like my father, I think anybody could become highly gifted. So he didn't believe child prodigies. He didn't believe in gene theory. He believed more in meticulous grooming of a child prodigy.
Very nice. Very nice. And that's very interesting because, and the reason I asked this question, Shashi, is because there are a lot of us out there who probably have, if not the wrong, at least the misguided notion that, I could have become a Shashikiran if I was born in that family. The answer to that is maybe a no. Maybe you could have interested and ended up singing, but you would not have had all of these accomplishments unless you decided to wake up at 4 in the morning or, slog it out for 14, 16 hours,
Yeah, and the slogging doesn't stop till you start your career. The slogging, we have to realize, that's what we have to realize. You don't work only keeping the benefits in mind. You have to love something so deeply first. True. Then it will not seem like work first.
Yeah, true.
So when you start enjoying it so deeply, it will become part and parcel of your existence. When it becomes that, the definition of life will change and your meaning to your own life will change. Only when that changes, you will have some kind of an impact on others.
While you're talking about life, what has been your life defining moment, Shashi? Any one that you can remember?
It'll sound mystical. Are you okay to hear it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So there was one time when I was wouldn't call a teenager, maybe a little bit, maybe a young person.
Okay.
I sang a concert.
Okay.
Usually whenever I sang a concert, and there were a lot of musicians listening to that concert, it was a dedication to Swami Dikshitar in Ettayapuram.
Okay.
Many musicians were hearing, and after I sang, a lot of people came and told it was very good. Only would have been a handful of people, but all well knowledgeable. And that was the moment I really thought I had also felt for the first time in my life that I was singing reasonably well.
Oh, nice.
Okay, but there was an old man who came there.
Okay.
I can't really describe him. He's not something who you would remember now in the way he was. It's nothing striking.
Wow.
Some man.
Okay.
Just a mystique man. Just a man. Okay. He was not like somebody who was like stunningly knowledgeable or didn't seem anything like that.
Okay.
So he just came and told me, "What did you think you did? You think you are so great? What kind of music? You thought you're out of the world or something like that? Music is not a manifestation of one's ego.
Wow.
And that's not the purpose to life." And then he wanted me to meet him the next day morning.
Okay.
And said, "Your purpose to your life is very different from what you think it's."
Wow.
So I went back to where I was staying.
Right.
The whole night, whatever he said was haunting me.
Right.
One thing is, because that was the time that I really felt I had not sung back. So it's intriguing in my head, not ego, but something which I felt was satisfying.
Correct.
He just blew it in one shot.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so that left me puzzled. It also left me angry a little bit.
Right.
As to who is he and what competence he has to also feel that small moment of happiness was taken away in one shot.
Correct.
So I was very curious to know what he had to say. So next day morning I went.
Okay.
And again, that person, spoke to me and said, "Your purpose, every musician comes, they live, they sing, they do what they do.
Right.
Okay, they probably, are liked by many people. But at the end of the journey, what is it? It's just for themselves."
Wow.
And now he gave me some mantrams, which I still go through. Whether, I'm a religious person or no, I chant these.
Okay.
And so he taught me and he asked me to say it 3 times each, a few mantras. When I was doing that, then he had asked me to close my eyes and do it. So when I was doing the final mantra, when I opened my eyes, I could not see him. I've never seen him ever again.
Really?
It's not like he could have run away from that place in a second.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so today I still wonder if this person, who is this person? Where did he come from? What is his connection with me? Why did he come to me? And I still remember whatever he has taught me, but I don't know who he is.
It gives me goosebumps.
This was something, if I tell this, I've not shared this to many people, very few close people I have. But it changed my perspective to what I was. It changed my interest. I never, ever, after that, thought I should be on stage. Of course, I do it for a life.
Right.
But it's not like, no, it's never that, I look to getting accolades or claps or anything that is usually a great satisfaction for every other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't chase those.
So would you call
transformed.
that? Yeah, would you call that divine intervention? And are you glad it happened?
It has to be something very special. I'm glad it happened. I'm very glad it happened very early in my life. It had a significant impact on my space. And I would tell you, ever since that happened, a lot of things that I've done, and that's why I keep telling you, none of those ideas are mine. So I just follow whatever comes as thought. And whenever I have become normal as a human being or gone to a normal state as a human being, there is some energy which keeps prompting me, this is not where you should be. So even at the slightest hints that I get that I'm going off track,
right,
I bounce back it guides me into a path that I feel I should live. It's not, again, now, this doesn't mean that, I'm judgmental about what others do.
Right.
I mean, I have no rights to, worry about this. It's just a self-introspection of what is. No, this is not about also defining what is right and wrong in the context of what we are taught. It is about a context of understanding what is needed and not needed. As I would say, it's vivekam. The definition of vivekam is just a sense of discrimination of understanding what you need and what you don't need at a particular given point of time. That's all.
So that really, so that experience or intervention acts as a compass for you, is it? Whenever you go off track, you use that to say, let me head north, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it keeps me grounded.
Very nice, very nice. Wow, that was quite a bit. Yeah, who inspires you, Shashi?
Tyagaraja.
Wow.
I have a tattoo.
Do you?
A tattoo right here.
Wow.
Now, again, this is a man. Forget about what composer he was. Yeah. All of those, So those everybody knows. Okay. Now, for me, now we were talking about what. So everybody liked Tyagaraja. Okay, right. But see, we talk about people now, their achievements. Right. We have social medias. We have many things. We have media. With all this, after their time, you remember them. Many people, you will be one among so many greats, right? Well, he was a man who came from a village very difficult to find out in the map. If you take a world atlas, you wouldn't even know where Tiruviyar is going to be. Okay? So it's that small a place. And a person who lived at least 200 plus years before us created something. He created 120 odd new ragas that were not in his time. So it was very modern, so to say. It's not like he was traditional. And yet, he had everything that he gave. As if you read his works, he started, a lot of people know him as a Rama devotee, but a lot of people don't know that he had moved way away from that when he started seeing the absoluteness of music itself. And later towards his life, he saw just, when it comes to Paramatma Velike and so on, he just sees the nothingness in everything.
Wow.
So it was not like he was stuck to only the form. So what I would say is we all need a form initially. Correct. But after that, we start understanding that there is something beyond, and beyond the form, beyond what our eyes can see. A lot of times we are caught by everything the world, is seen from this eyes.
Correct.
When he's closed his eyes, that's when actually the world begins. And that's what meditation is.
Yes.
When you close this eyes, that's when you will actually see music too.
Yes.
So as long as I keep seeing this, so my eyes, you can only go that far to capture every emotion that somebody reflects outside, and I'm affected by it. Either he's reading a newspaper, or he's seeing, or he's walking away from a program, or whatever. So my eyes will capture only so much, and it will process all that data.
Right.
Instead, if I'm going inward, then I'm seeing a lot more. That's what Tyagaraja did.
Yes.
And today, whether a kid knows his name or not, every kid learning music sings a song.
Absolutely.
There is a celebration of his Aradhana everywhere in the world.
Correct.
He never craved for it. It just happened. So, if your quality and power is that kind of work, then it will stand test of time. That's all it is. So, inspiration, if you ask people like that, Adi Shankara, Tyagaraja, Ramanuja, Vivekananda.
Yes.
Some to say. Yeah. So these were some of the few that I can relate to.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Adi Shankara and Vivekananda.
Of course, Ramana.
Maharshis. Absolutely.
Many of these people. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Awesome. So, my dear friends, as we come to the end of the first part of our conversation with Shashikiran, do stay tuned in. We will be back next week as we dive deeper into Shashi's passion for music, his performances, his venture at the Karnataka and his plans in life. Do not go away. Keep your interests alive, and looking forward to meeting you next week. Bye-bye.